This is still Signature Morning, and we're still talking on health. Right now, we have another guest to still expound on the issue of health, the person of pharmacist Ibrahim Kamal. Good morning.
Morning. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yes, I can see nothing about you is protesting. My previous guest before you, I actually just forgot to ask if there are a lot of protests going on inside, but he had it covered. But nothing about you speaks protest. Now talking about this health sector, what is the position of expert in the medical team?
Thank you for having me once more. You may like to know what it's all about team. Team, by my own understanding, is a group of people or an expert or knowledgeable people that decide to come together and conceptualize a goal that we set to achieve it. And if that is true, the focus and the mission of every member of that team is to make sure that that goal is effectively achieved. So, just like a football team, when a position of 6 and 4 refuse to lay ball to people at 9, 10 that are well positioned to score, refuse to do so. So the aim of winning that football will be defeated. So this is not different from medical team. Medical teams are a group of head experts or professionals that were grouped together in a medical setting to achieve a particular goal. And that goal is to ensure that effective and reliable health delivery is achieved and reached to the people. Any patient that comes to hospitals get what is desirable for him. Okay. And in that case, every member of that team or expert in that team needs to do his needful. So you need to know what it's all about. Who are those experts? Medical team or medical setting is a setting that has multiple heterogeneous health professionals, in which every one of them is an expert on his own and he had a formal training to deliver what is desired of him. And as such, to deliver effective health services to the patient or the needy people of the society, every member of that team as a medical professional must partake. You have physicians, you have pharmacists, are experts on their own. You have medical lab scientists, are experts on their own. You have radiographer, they are also experts on their own. You have physiotherapy, they are experts on their own. You have dietitians, they are experts on their own. You have dental therapy, dental technologists, so numerous. You have clinical psychologists. You have health information managers. If any one of these, even cleaner, as far as we're concerned health, is an expert on his own. So every one of these team members play a complementary role to actualize the desire of the patient. And what is that desire? It's the patient to get well, to get happy and reliable services at what hospitals they found themselves. So if any member of this team, as a health professional, as expert, as topic capture, fail to do his own judiciously, there's likelihood that the goal set will not be achieved. Okay. In that case now, the question asked is that every expert is as important as every person in that team.
Okay.
So how does health experts communicate complex issues to non-medical team in their fold?
If you get my narration, there's no complexity here, because the role of every member of that team is clearly spelled out.
Yeah, because I know there are also still members who are not who are not medically inclined, who are not as experienced as those who are health experts. But I was asking, how do you think that health experts can best communicate complex medical terms to non-medical team in that space?
Okay. I told you that everybody working in hospital is a member of the team.
Okay.
Because even the gate man is part of the team members. Let me give you a scenario. So when you come to hospitals, you may need somebody that directs where to go to. He has actually contributed to success of what you're here for. So a gate man is a medical team. But in the third medical team, we'll have medical experts who are called clinical staffs. But even non-clinical staff, they're part of the teams. So a watchman would lead you to direct you to the section you are going. And you need to go and meet head information officer to provide you with a card or register you properly before anybody can ascertain. Then after the head information officer, you move to triage, where the nurses take your vital signs and then record it accordingly. Then you move to doctors. So this three steps I just mentioned, if you mix out, doctor is capacitated.
Okay.
So when doctor gets your history, he lacks some information. You just tell him what you can see. What you call objective and subjective data. So the objective is the one you told him. The subjective, you have to send you to labs or radiographers to not take those X-ray or whatever they want to do to provide additional information about you.
Right, because the reason why I asked that
now I'm coming. So when you go that way,
okay,
and if any one of these people miss out
step, okay,
or give a wrong information, automatically the aim you are trying to achieve is already gone. So it's complex, as I said, but you get information according to the rules assigned to you. Assigned to your place.
Okay.
So everybody is informed about that one. But because we're as a team, we have what we call a clinical meetings, where all of us meet and everybody presents a view about a patient. In that case, now we now have information about others.
Right.
That will enable us to solve the complex issues.
It's very important. The reason when I ask that is because we've seen communications between doctors and nurses sometimes even break down. A situation where I don't know the extent of whether there's this agreement whenever meetings are held. When doctors write prescription for patients, they tell the patient to take it to nurses, and sometimes the nurses cannot read the handwriting of doctors. They sometimes even give a different prescription from what was written, because doctors don't really have the best of handwritings, so to speak. Maybe it's about time to ask you, why do doctors not have the best of handwritings? And secondly, you know, in that case, basically, what do you think, you know, can be done with that kind of situation?
Okay, thank you very much. I disagree with you that doctor has bad handwriting. Because next time you say pharmacist has bad handwriting also. So doctor doesn't have bad handwriting. It is the writing is a communicating language, clinical communicating language. You see it as a bad handwriting, so we interpret it. So it's a prescription. Okay. So prescriptions normally does not go to nurses direct. It goes to pharmacists first. And pharmacist has a background to interpret whatever doctors write, because it's a more Latin language. But what we call interventions and interrelations. If in case you have difficulty in interpreting any writing that is not clear to you, it's wrong by procedure to go ahead and suggest or and think. You have to get back to the prescriber for clarity. So there are formal communication means, which is by writing prescriptions, and it has to go to pharmacists. If I left to me, a wrong prescription will not even go to the point of nurses. It goes to pharmacists. It's between pharmacists and the prescriber to sort it out. Okay. When pharmacists do his own view and screen it and satisfy, if he has any question to ask, you relate to the pharmacy doctors and get a solution, and then make the drug, release the drugs to the nurses. And when pharmacists is releasing drugs to nurses, you make another interpretation that the nurses can get it better. So if there's any practice whereby the prescription got to nurses direct, it's a misproportion. That means what you're talking about, the role of or the expert in team now has been defeated, Because it is when it passes through these stages that at a point certain mistake will be detected. Certain something that is overseen by doctor can be observed by the pharmacist. The pharmacist also made a mistake, the nurses also make cross-checking and also observe something. When it goes through these stages, you hardly see that the patient not take a wrong drugs at one time. So, but luckily with the technology we have now, most of prescription are now online, electronics. So it was already customized. It's just for a prescriber to pick and they add some information and it comes clearly. So except those who have not keyed into it may have those challenges.
Okay. You are the national president, the president of Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals. Am I correct?
Yeah, yes, correct.
And I understand they have something with Trade Union Congress.
Yeah.
But they are part of it.
Affiliation.
Now, how united is Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, and what impact have they made so far in the Nigerian health sector?
Okay, thank you for that. Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, for your information and the general public, is a union that has more than about 12 healthcare professionals under.
Healthcare professionals?
Yes.
Okay.
They're experts, about 12 different, with the exception of nurses and physicians. Any healthcare professional in the health sector is a member of the NUAP. So pharmacists, medical lab scientists, physiotherapy, as I mentioned, they are members.
Okay.
So the basic cardinal principle activities of union is about 3 to 4 major things to ensure that members have their welfare, better welfare, their right is given to them, and to ensure that they have a better and peaceful working conditions. So we have contributed and made the health sector better by ensuring that we aggregate and demand the necessary equipment that would enhance our contribution in the team made available.
Okay.
We also aggregate and ensure that what is meant for our members is given to them. It's because when you are paid well, when you are given the better working conditions, that you contribute meaningfully. So our basic rule is to observe and ensure that all what it takes for our members or the experts in our teams do their work right is made available. So we interface between our members and government, and we ensure our members also comply with the ethics and provision of their services.
You know, one of my questions was, what have been their impact?
Yes.
You said that every person in the medical team is under Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals. Like you mentioned, nurses. So case in point now, and I'm using nurses as a nurse. You enter a hospital and nurses are not prompt to respond to patients. You know, what is the major problem? Is it something that NOAP is also looking into? I had once witnessed a case, and some other people had, attested to the fact that sometimes you get to the hospital and you almost virtually have to plead. You know, so most times they plead with the nurses. You see a pregnant woman who is in bed pangs, and she's like, go and sit down, find a place and sit down. There's no passion, there's no compassion. Empathy, is not seen amongst them. And most times you get to the pharmaceutical for them to where they dispense drugs. And it takes a lot of time, as if they were forced to be on that seat.
Okay.
So what causes that?
Okay, thank you very much. It's clearer now. I want to disagree with you, but maybe you have a experience to share with us.
With evidence.
But as I did say earlier, every responsible union has what we call a monitoring team. Because I told you that we had a primary responsibility to ensure our member did the needful based on their scheme of service, and government also does it. So every responsible union has a monitoring team. Likewise, every management nationwide, I don't know, but what we call Servicons, that are also in the government part, that monitor to ensure that every employee or every expert in health sectors do this work accordingly. But what we may see as an expert as not a problem. You, outside there, you see it as a problem. I give you a scenario. If you come to emergency unit, and you came with somebody that was crying of leg, or scorpion bite. Another case, massive accident just came in. They call this severe emergency.
Yes.
So expert will use his discretions as an expert. That's why the expert is coming now. He may even abandon you and go and attend to other person. And you may feel bad that he's not attended to well.
No,
I'm coming. I'm just giving a scenario.
Yes. Yes.
So a patient or the patient relationship will see as if you are not attended to. One. Likewise, the example we gave in ONG, maybe a pregnant woman. The way they view it, you may view it different. But actually, there's that empathy that needs to be expressed.
Yes.
That welcoming needs to be done. Welcome you well and give you courage. Attend to you.
Yes, but most of them don't have empathy.
Yeah,
it's not about that you've left one for another.
Yeah.
Even the one you're treating, you're attending to, there is no empathy. There is no compassion. Just, it's just.
Let me speak for pharmacists again, first. Let me go to pharmacists. You see that it's just ordinarily give me the drug, let me go. That's what happened. I've joined you. Now to give me drugs is taking you 10 minutes or 15 minutes. It can even take 30 minutes. But we understand as a pharmacist, because I am the endpoint. All whatever you have went through to come to me now, you are going to end on me. And you've seen that I'm going to give you drugs. But you went beyond that level.
Yes.
I just explained to you. I'm there as a police. I'm policing the prescriber. I'm policing the medical lab scientists. Whatever a prescriber has prescribed, the time you see I'm wasting looking, I'm trying to justify that in the course of giving you this drug to get it right, we should not cause injury. We call them drug therapy problem.
You call them what?
Drug therapy.
Okay.
That could be one reason we are seeing as if there's a delay. Because they have to that what they're giving you is actually needed. If they give you, if the doctor, because of pressure, whatever it is, if you can't prescribe what you didn't need, we now call it now you are giving the indication without problem. So it's a drug therapy problem, that will cause that sickness. So it's a responsibility of pharmacists to justify that whatever is that shit, whatever is given to you, understand? You really need it because he has access to information. If he found anything that he think by his discretion could cause problem, be delay more order, you have to communicate with the prescriber for them to agree. That could be one of the reasons why you're seeing as a delay.
Wouldn't it cause conflict between the pharmacist and the doctor? Because if the pharmacy says maybe to the doctor or to be sure of whatever it is that has been given, wouldn't the doctor order that you are questioning his prescription? And how does it resolve this conflict of interest that exists within this system?
That was here, the role of experts in the team.
Right.
So I have my role defined. My role to ensure that whatever I'm going to give you is desirable. And my role is to collaborate with the prescriber and another person, sure that you get it right. So drugs could be poison. When you take it, when you don't need it. So, and as I told you earlier, because of the key that every expert play in this team, and that role has been defined, there shouldn't be any conflict. And that is why the prescriber was not given a complete role of prescribing this and go ahead. If you go to anywhere that they give a basis that prescribe can't give you again the same thing itself, you get it under services. So the essence of this topic you are taking, the role of experts in the team, is to ensure that everything that the patient will take at the end of the day, take the right things. And because it is known that it's the role of a pharmacist that he can observe, any other person can observe, but the role of pharmacist can observe that what's just right, or he has an oversight, or whatever reason that makes something be there will be there. Of course, he is a drug expert.
Right.
He's a drug expert on his own. So he made, they will collaborate, it's collaboration.
All
We'll
right.
have a pattern and manner which we communicate. It's not a fight.
All right.
I mean, in the course of action, I began from him, and he began from me. So I'm not trying to, it's not condemn,
All right.
but you need to intervene if there's need. And that could be what we are seeing as a glare.
Okay.
Because drug is a sensitive aspect of it and is the most important thing you need there. If you give it a wrong drugs, then the aim of coming to the hospital has been defeated. And let you know, in case you are giving wrong things, and it becomes a legal issue, the prescriber says, I'm not an expert. He should have known that it's a problem.
Wow.
In case you don't know,
I would invite you-
that's why we have more responsibility than other persons.
I think we'll want you again
I'm
to
telling you.
expatiate more on this
Thank you
drug
very
thing
much. Thank you
because
very much.
it's interesting as we got on the discussion. All right, it's just because of time we just have to leave it there.
Okay.
Pharmacist Ibrahim Kamal, he is the National President of the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals. Thank you again for coming. We truly appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
All right, we're back shortly for another discussion. This is Signature Morning.